Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to take a little bit of time and make a video about the airbags that I put on our 2015 GMC Sierra. So the reason I got them is because I had a deck over bumper pull trailer that I typically hold the skid loader with, and with the skid loader held backwards, there's a lot of tongue weight. The truck would constantly sit like this, and it would almost be light on the steering wheel because of that. And skid loader is like 8,000 pounds, so it was a heavy load. Trailer was like 4,000 empty, so way too much tongue weight. And with the length of the trailer, I couldn't really move the skid loader back further, closer to the axles. So it was just problematic. And my friend told me, to get some airbags, and I thought, well, airbags are expensive. And when I actually looked into it, airbags weren't that expensive, and the install was very, very easy. And they've made a hell of a difference in the in being able to, in the quality of towing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, and I'll give you a quick overview. This isn't going to be an install video. I'm going to touch on how it's installed. It's very easy. I'm going to touch on how it's installed and just kind of give you some thoughts and kind of a walkthrough of how it works. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and get started. Here are the airbags. We're on the driver's side, and you can see here this part is part of the truck, and what used to be here underneath this used to be a rubber stop, and you take that rubber stop off, and then this bracket comes with the airbag, and that bracket comes over where the old bump stop used to be, and that bolts up. It's got a self-tapping. We had to drill a hole there into the frame, and that uses a self-tapping bolt. And then on the bottom side, it comes with these bolts. So this is the bottom bracket here, and it just sits right on the axle. And then this is the a bolt, like a piece of square tubing, a U-shaped tubing that bolts up from here to here, and that's what holds the bottom bracket in place. And again, it's over where the old bump stop was. See that? So it just mounts over where the old bump stop was, and then bolts down on the top and bottom of the axle. And then both sides obviously are the same. And then there is an air line that comes out of the top right here, and it tees off, and the one tee right there is going to the airbag on the other side of the truck. Okay, and then that other airline that keeps going towards the front of the cab is the airline for the compressor. And the other thing I did, because you don't have to have a compressor, so I routed one of the airlines up to here to a Schrader valve, so that if ever my air compressor is not running, I can stop at a gas station and fill up my bags. Now I've got an onboard air compressor, which will link to both the air compressor we're using and the airbags. But I've got an onboard air compressor, which I've mounted, and I'm going to show you that here. So here's my onboard air compressor. There's the airline coming in. So that is my onboard air compressor. The wiring harness. And then I grounded it right there. But this whole apparatus is came on Amazon, mounting bracket and everything. And it came with, I believe it came with wire as well. I don't remember if I had to extend the wire or not, but this is the air compressor. So, and it's got an air filter on it as well. And then for wiring, I ran the wiring up underneath the truck, and I'm gonna show you how I did the fuse box as well. It's a pretty cool setup. Okay, So here's the fuse box here. And let me just get this opened up. Okay. Now one thing I did with this, and don't yell at me too much, is I put a, you see that? I put a little cutout in the middle right there. That was just to allow my wire to pass through and not do any cutting. Okay, so here is where the wire passes in. And then what I'm using, and I will link to these as well, I'm using these little circuit fuses. I don't remember what they're called, but we'll link to them. And so what this does is it puts a fuse in here, okay? So I just picked any random fuse, okay? And that gives me the regular 10 amp, okay? And then the other fuse here is for on this red line. So that gives me a good fusible link for the system, rather than having to split into another wire. So there used to be a 10 amp in here. This gives us a 10 amp in there and then gives us another 10 amp for the red line you see coming off, if that makes sense. And then fuse box just goes back on. So I like those. I have a couple of those. I've used those in quite a few spots, and I think they're pretty efficient. So because I have that air compressor, it comes with a wireless remote, okay, like this. And when you press the button, it says air lift. And so this is 5 pounds. It's a minimum pressure, okay? So you can see here, I'm going to measure for you. At 5 pounds, from the top of the tire to the bottom, we're a little bit less than 12.5 inches. And normally I run these, like if I have the dump trailer hooked up, which is a bumper pole, then I'll run this about 40 pounds. When I'm not loaded, and I'll run it 60 pounds when I'm loaded. Now, I don't have to run the weight anywhere near like that with the gooseneck because of the weight distribution. And that's not very loud. You can barely hear that humming when you're in the cab. You can just barely hear that humming. And so what that's doing is that's filling up those airbags, and it's lifting the bed up because it's pushing between the frame and the axle. And this will tell you when it's done as well. It's got 2 presets we'll talk about. So this preset I think is set to 65 pounds. That's a loaded stone with the bumper pole trailer. And then I've got this set to 5 pounds. Okay, so now we just kicked off. So let me show you where we're at, and so you can see how, you know, that it's lifting up. Okay, now we're just shy of 14 inches, so we raised 1.5 inches, 40 pounds. So that's pretty cool. The other thing is, and I've got a video, if you see this B&W turnover ball, I have a video on that too, which we might link to here. That's an excellent 5th wheel hitch. But this has been great, and then it kind of has a cool little blow off sound. So what I've also been doing is, like, when I'm backing up to my trailer, right, I'll back up at 5 pounds and then I'll hook it up to 40 pounds and get on the trailer. That keeps me from having to spin the jack on the trailer as much. Or when I unload, right, I'll pump it up to 60 pounds, I'll back the trailer up, park it, support the trailer with the jack, and then I'll dump the bags and pull in and out. I never thought I would use it like that, but it makes unloading the trailer faster too, or hooking up the trailer faster too, because I can just back up with loaded bags, unhook the hitch, dump the bags, and pull right out. But anyway, so if I go down, let me just hit this preset here for 5, but give me back to 5 pounds, you'll hear it blow off. back. So it's a pretty excellent system. It's really pretty awesome. I love it. I used to run a bumper pole deck over trailer with a skid loader, which of course you almost always load skid loaders backwards, and it was excellent. It was the only way I could keep the trailer flat. Now I have a gooseneck and I don't have anywhere near the problems, but with the bumper pole dump trailer, I still, without these bags, I would sag like crazy. I hope that was helpful. The airbag, I would definitely buy the airbags again. I didn't know that they were as cheap as they were. I did that for under 750 bucks. We'll link on the products on Amazon, but I'm for sure those were under 750, and it's excellent. I thought airbags were a lot more expensive than they are, and they're not, and they make a big difference. So towing and being able to really level the truck, regardless of your load, sometimes is paramount. So I would definitely put these on any other truck. And of course, we're not being paid to to say this. I bought that with my own money. I've used them for about 1.5 years now. For the things that I put on this truck, it's one of the most used things that I put on this truck. So definitely like and subscribe, and we'll continue bringing more videos of things to you on the farm. Thanks.